Good morning, it's Captain Brian with Motivation in this morning's edition of Get Boativated, and I want to talk to you today about what your word is to other people. Is your word truly your bond? If you say what you're going to do, are you going to do it? I've talked about different ways of looking at it, different things that happen, but when it comes down to it, if you say you're going to be somewhere, be there on time out of respect to them. If not, be there early so you can be there on time, so you don't use an excuse as I've gotten traffic, I've gotten stuck here, I got held up here, I couldn't find the dog, the cat. Those are all just excuses. If you really want to be somewhere and you have an excitement about being there, you will be there early and you will be there on time. And I've had different people, come. I've hosted parties, and some people didn't show up till late. And I know there's some fashion statement about parties of being you don't want to be too early, you want to be fashionably late, but whatever it is, at least you're there, you showed up, you didn't look for something better to do. We're in a world of short attention span theater, and it never fails that something else is going to pop up right in front of us and gives a reason not to go do something. But if you've already said something, I've even seen it in the comedy world. I had comics call me up, and because they've got offered more money to perform somewhere else, they wanted to cancel on me. And they did give me a courtesy call, and they kind of asked me, would you accept this? And depending on how close it was to the actual date, sometimes I'd say no, and sometimes I'd say yes. And a lot of times, if it was very close to the show, like a week out or something like that, and they tried to cancel because something they felt was better for their career popped up, they might not get rebooked at my club at that time. And at the same time, but if they called me 3 months in advance, hey, I got this opportunity, can we reschedule this? Do you mind doing that? Will I still be in good graces? Okay, I'm okay with that. That's giving you ample enough time. But when you call up the day of an event and say I can't be there, and I mean there is extremes where you're vomiting, you're sick, you can't get off the toilet, whatever it is. But there's other times just because you want to do something else, or you're feeling lazy, or you're feeling because going to that event, you might get something out of that you wouldn't have expected. You might meet somebody new. You might have a job opportunity. You might have just a social opportunity that you wouldn't have normally had by doing that. And just by being yourself and being by your word and honoring that. Because I used to think when people used to call in sick, I think we've all done it in our time, one time or another, but when you think about the process of calling in sick to go do something else for work, you're actually putting more work on 90% of your other employees that are there, and you're being selfish to yourself, to them, or you're being selfish to do what you want to do and not think about all the extra work that's being put on those people. When I had the comedy club, especially with the kitchen was one of those finicky things. If we had a really busy night and somebody called in sick or just didn't show up at all of a sudden we're behind the 8 ball because we're already behind because we didn't do their prep work. If we would have known they weren't coming in, or they made a plan and said, hey, I've got something coming up in 2 weeks, I'm going to need this Friday night off, that's a different scenario. But to call in that day or not even call in and just not show, it throws everybody else working a lot harder, a lot more takes off, and it's just being selfish. It's not thinking about the other people that are working around you. So if you're going to get out there in life, and if you hold your bond and be true to everything you say, and without doubt doing what you say you're going to do, it's going to make you a better person. You're going to be well more respected in your community and in your environment and the people that you work around, and making that happen. And as long as you bind by the word that you're going to say, you can overpromise, but don't underpromise. Don't overpromise. You want to overachieve and underpromise. And if you can do that, you're going to even be a better spot than that. That's a whole nother topic. So I'm Captain Brian. Let's get motivated. If you wanted some help creating a lifestyle, creating a plan, creating that free time of life to free up your time and make more money while actually doing physically less work, let's get together and talk about it and see if we can make that happen for you. I'm Captain Brian, motivation.net.